Hello everyone, welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Sincerely hope everybody is doing amazingly well today. Welcome if you are brand new and this is the first time that you are clicking on a video, or you are returning or a new subscriber. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we have Hazel, our beautiful witch. She appeared in a few of our, or one of our Halloween readings, and she is back today because we are doing Which Witch Has a Message for You. So I have done a reading before about Which Witch Are You. I will link that down below. And yeah, that was a couple months ago, so I will link that down below. But today we are doing Which Witch Has a Message for You. So our pile one is Kitchen Witch. So if you fancy yourself somebody who's into kitchen witchery, using whatever is in the kitchen for your tools and lots of spices and beautiful spices and sugar and herbs and whatever is in your kitchen to make your life more beautiful and spell-like, then that is your pile. And then we have the Sea Witch. That pretty much speaks for itself. I know we've got the rainbow. I couldn't find it. This is as close as I could get to the sea. So Sea Witch, everything water, elemental of water, of course mermaids and everything else that lives in the sea. If you love great bodies of water, or even maybe Cancer, Scorpio or Pisces, but it doesn't have to be, then this might be your pile. And then last but not least, we have pile 3, which is our Cosmic Witch. Cosmic witches love working with outer space too. They also, they're very practical and grounded in this lifetime, but you know, they could be into astrology and stars. So for those of you who are star seeds but see yourself as have a little witchy blood too, that could be for you. Now there's a myriad of different reasons why you would choose one over the other. It doesn't have to be for those particular reasons. It could be because you like these icons. But as always, really click into your soul and just let your intuition choose. The more aligned you are with your soul, the more these messages, these beautiful messages, are going to resonate. We also have our purple candle for higher learning and higher chakras, being connected to our spirit guides. And I added a little magic oil for abundance and healing also, just to give a little extra vuvum to our messages today. So let's go ahead and move these aside for now. So if you picked pile 1, essentially pile 1, which is our Kitchen Witch, then these messages are for you. So let's start off with these oracle cards. I might have to move Hazel along a little bit to give us some room. So these are your messages from the energy of the Kitchen Witch. Whether you see yourself as a kitchen witch or not, or whether you're thinking you want to become a kitchen witch, I think you're probably born one in a certain way, but you can absolutely become whatever it is that you want. Reinvent yourself every day. Why not? Your life is yours to do as you wish. And all right, Hazel, don't fall over. She's a little bit drunk today. She had a little bit too much whiskey. I'm just kidding. Am I though? Right, so we have Lord God and we have masculine as your first card, you kitchen witches. And we have the pentacle, we have respect. And we have the staff and stability. All right, beautiful. So the first messages that we're getting for you, beautiful pile 1 and all you kitchen witches, is to root in the understanding of who you are. Now, this is a very personal message for each and every one of you, and each and every one of you will hear this differently, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And each and every one of you will work with this energy differently. But you've worked, for most of you, you've worked a lot on yourself and really releasing a lot of what no longer works. And now you are, for want of a better term, left with this sort of, for some of you, it feels like a vacant hole, or this sort of vacuous kind of understanding of who you are. And for some of you, it's just this sort of brand new beginning, depending on your perspective. Now you can move in any way that you want to, because you've shed so much. You're not really as identified before as you were before, as many of us are, with the version of who we are. And you're sort of looking beyond that, which is wonderful. You're not really sort of in the world and understanding that your reality is just your beliefs and what you believe to be true. That's all part of programming, right? So you've taken belief sort of out of it, but you've also encompassed what it is that you do believe in, and it's become a lot more open. It's not like you don't believe in anything. You're a complete nihilist out of there. Out in the world, I don't believe in anything. Nothing's true. This, that, and the other. It's not that, but you're not succumbing to your sort of your emotionality anymore. You're not succumbing to your beliefs. You're willing to say, I'm choosing this for myself, but I do realize that everybody else is choosing something else. So this is sort of a new reality for you. Now, for some of you, this is absolutely wonderful. And for some of you, it's a little bit confusing because you feel as though you're flip-flopping a little bit all over the place. Because before, the thing is with beliefs, we can believe them. I believe in this. And sometimes it makes us a little bit inflexible, but at least you have an authority. You know what you believe in, right? And we're taught in this lifetime, believe in something, stand for your beliefs and all of this stuff. We're taught all of this. Without really sort of figuring out or rendering through and trying to figure out what these beliefs are and why we have these beliefs and are they really ours. So this is a journey for you, and this is a really exciting time for you, regardless of how you feel about it. If you're feeling a little confused, totally understandable, sending so much love and support for that. But let's see if you can see these. We're gonna move our little Hazel up just a little bit because she takes up so much room. As she should. All witches should take up as much room as they want to. So let's just move her to the side a little bit, and she's going to oversee our reading. So this is a time for you to really understand and root in sort of this new beginning, this new understanding of who you are. Now we're going to give you some really practical and supportive ways to do this, but of course always listen to your heart and see how this is going to work for you, because each and every one of you is going to work with this individually. It's about how you work with your day-to-day life, how you work with your day-to-day moments, how you root yourself in your day-to-day beliefs or understanding of what it is that you stand for, right? And a lot of that is completely open and can shift and move and still understands and allows for other people to believe as they want to also. So, little things like having a routine that's based on what it is that you believe or that works for you. So, I mean, if you want to work out at 5 o'clock in the morning, that's wonderful. If you're not a morning person, don't do that. But it's all about clicking right into your understanding of how your energy works and how you're going to honor your energy every day. And every time you honor your energy in the moment, every day, it builds and it builds and it builds. And what that does is it grounds you in to the understanding of who you are now. And again, this is all encompassing because that can shift and change. You're flexible now and moving in every different direction. As we say, living spherically, right? But sometimes that could be ritual and whatever that means to you. So you wake up every morning and you do your own version of prayer, or you meditate in the morning. Some of you aren't meditators. It doesn't work for you. So you're going to have to choose what it is for you. But it's about rooting in some kind of practice that works for you now. It may reflect elements of who you were in the past, and that's fine, but it's got to reflect who you are now or who you're becoming, and really allow for that. And that's going to really root you in to who you are and give you this sort of really strong foundation, this really beautiful stability that you're looking for. And once that comes in, you're going to have this real confidence that comes in and around you. Some of you are really excited about the future, and some of you go from this moment of being really excited to being really terrified, to being really confused, to being, feeling really lost. And you can sort of do that in 4 elements and come back to center. Because you've got nothing to compare this to. This is a brand new version of you. You can't go back. None of that's working. This is a theme that's going on in the cosmos right now, in the collective, for people who are moving forward. So you're absolutely not alone. But this is how you specifically can work with this energy. This is coming in. You've got the 2 of chalices here, the 2 of cups. So yeah, you're coming into meeting who it is that you're supposed to meet, and solidifying these sort of romances. Now, some of these romances, going to sound a little weird, but bear with us, are with yourself, coming in with that divine masculine and that divine feminine, coming into that center space. And that balance will look very different for each and every one of you. It's not 50-50 for most of you. Some of you are going to be working more in the divine masculine. Some of you are going to be working more in the divine feminine. So the divine masculine is working at 30%, but it's rooted in that 30% and really lifting up that divine feminine. And some of you are working in the opposite direction, in the opposite way. It's not going to be the same for each and every one of you. And some of you, and you can flutter. One day you need the divine masculine a little bit more than the divine feminine. So this idea of this 50-50 isn't going to work anymore. So you have the 10 of Athames, you have the 10 of Swords coming in too, and you have the 4 of Pentacles. So there is much more for you going on sort of, so there's so much going on in the collective right now, and none of that really concerns you, and that's wonderful, because this is all about how you are figuring out your own life and how you're going to work with this energy. I'm just moving this so we can see this properly. So how you can work with this energy in your own way. So there's a solitary factor to all of this energy that's in and around you right now, which is totally wonderful. But at the same time, that's when you're a little bit confused, because you're like, well, before I would check in with this and I would check in with that. But this is about learning to trust yourself and rooting into the person that you are now, or the person that you're becoming, which again can go in any direction. So again, really come back to your signature moves. I keep hearing these signature moves, whatever it is that you have, it's really vital at this point that you anchor yourself in a very, very physical way. So if a walk every day does it for you, that's wonderful. But pay attention to the small, the small moments, the small aspects of, I wrote about this in a blog today. If you're not following me on Instagram, you might want to do that, because I do a lot of writing and there's a lot of healing in that too. But I talked about, when you're baking a cake and, the essences that you do, and this is all kitchen witchery too, bringing in sugar for sweetness, but also sort of elevating your mood too, and breaking up the inflexibility. And then the salt is used to bring in some stamina. All of these, breaking things down to their smallest points and understanding how everything works is the essence of alchemy. Bringing your mind back to these small little things, not where you're over focusing on them, but where you're aware of them. And then you see the magic in these small moments. And as you see the magic in these small moments, these appreciation, this gratitude starts building and starts solidifying, and it forms this foundation of who you are. And then the confidence comes and says, well, it doesn't matter if I know exactly who I am, or I'm defining myself in the way that I used to. I may not be able to do this, but I believe in the world. I believe in the beauty. I believe in this. I know this energy is here. I know alchemy exists. I know I'm able to do this. I know I'm able to do that. So it puts a different perspective, a different spin on things, and it allows you to really sort of root into the world and sort of transfix yourself into the understanding that you are part of Mother Gaia, and putting your roots right down into the middle of the earth, where you're not sort of like feeling lost anymore. And again, anything can happen for you. It's out there on the other side of the door, and the door is ready to be opened. It's just a matter of you rooting into your energy before you open that door. And this is not about you solidifying who it is that you are. In fact, this is about you opening up to any version that you want to become. But this is about you rooting down into your everyday world, into your everyday beautiful, and making that magical. Now, for you, there is this synonymous understanding of coming back to a version of yourself, or coming back to many different versions of yourself. Again, rooting into the divine masculine and feminine, how that looks to you, and that's going to be personal for each and every one of you, like we said. But there's also love coming in for you. Now, many different, this can come in many different ways for each and every one of you. For some of you, it will be a counterpart coming in. Some of you, a counterpart is coming back also. For some of you, there's somebody that you just met that might have possibilities. For some of you, it's about opening up to this understanding of love and wanting that energy again. For some of you, you closed yourself off to that for a little while, and it's not really necessarily out of protection. You wanted to do some stuff for yourself. You've always put other people first. You wanted this energy for yourself. So you were like, I'm going to put myself front and center. And even if you have a beautiful love affair with its counterpart comes in and they absolutely adore you, you know, your life is different when you live with somebody else. It really is. So putting yourself front and center before you meet the love of your life, before somebody comes in that you can really spend your life with. And this could be a really wonderful thing for you to do. So you didn't shut down out of protection. You did it out of, I need to put myself first. And that's wonderful. But a lot of you who have felt this way are now opening up to the possibility of something beautiful, something more coming in. So, and once you've done that, you've done all the work. This is not about any work that you need to do. And again, as we say on the channel all the time, going down the rabbit hole and, you know, figuring out this, that, and the other. This is a very tangible way of you rooting yourself into your everyday life, building that foundation with Mother Gaia again, rebuilding it, rebuilding that confidence for who you are now without the sort of need for saying, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing. And just sort of being open, really getting used to the energy of just being completely open. And again, living spherically and moving forward in any different direction. Sort of having this magical life. One might say surrendering to the universe, but it's not the will of the universe. It's the will of your higher self too. And it's a different way to move. And it can be a magical way to move if we see it as magical. So you're coming into this mentality of seeing it as magical and not feeling lost. So we have here, so loosen your grip. Yes, coping mechanism, density, addiction, let God in. So this is something that you're working on. And again, this is going to look different for each and every one of you. And then you've got the Queen of Water, the Queen of Cups. You've got the tender-hearted, empathic, patient, and loving. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. So this is, again, bringing in the emotionality that you have and being able to have your cup flow over and be able to help the world in the way that you wanted to by putting your energy first. And this is the way that you're doing it. And also really learning how to loosen that grip and really surrendering to the process without feeling lost. Really understanding your elemental aspects of self, because you really do have this elemental aspect of self too. You have this sea witch too for some of you, if you always go with your intuition, but if you feel like the sea witch pile 2 will work for you. We haven't even done yet, but I can already tell that might work for you too. The element of water is very strong with you. It's very cleansing, but it's also, you have deep emotionality, which you have used and you really do understand how to use to reach people on an empathic level, to really understand people at a really, really deep level. It doesn't mean you have to put up with their stuff. It doesn't mean you have to agree with everybody, and this So this is about working with your alchemical energy and transmuting and learning how to do that on a constant way. So if there's any negative energy around you, you can transmute it. So if there's dense energy in and around you, it could mean that you're still taking on some energy from the external, from the collective. That's something that you did before. Now you're being asked to work mainly on yourself, and then that's how you can serve the collective. But if you're feeling dense, then look into that. What is it that I need to release? What is it, some programming still left over from the collective? What do I need to do? And again, don't go down the rabbit hole. This is not everything that, you have to do a course and read 10,000 books in order to get the information. It's just, what do I need to release? It's ready. Everything's up, ready to be released. It's just a matter of finding where it's living and releasing it and making your peace with it. But this is really about coming back to you, coming back to center, working on your own terms, and again, getting that daily routine. Now, that daily routine will definitely look different for each and every one of you, but it may look different every single day. This is not about like 10 o'clock I'm doing this, This is about open, and if that works for you, that's wonderful. Go be you. But if that's not the sort of thing that works for you, don't try and push something that doesn't work for you, that's not working with your energy. This is about allowing your energy to flow and allowing your energy in a way to dictate how you are. Now, in a way, that makes you nervous because before your emotionality dictated certain situations. So you're nervous about that. But this is not the same as your emotionality dictating. You've already worked with your emotionality. This is about your energy dictating what you need to do next. So learning the subtleties, the differences between the two. But yeah, really grounding into your energy at every time and every moment and seeing the magic in the small things. It's going to ground you into Mother Gaia and really, really connect you to the energy of who you are, because everything is ready to be opened up to you, all of these opportunities. Now, we can't tell you what opportunities coming in for you besides love. That came up because for each and every one of you, it'll be different, but also you can move in any direction. So you can choose what it is that you want. You can literally visualize and bring it in. It's absolutely up to you. The other thing that I'm being told to tell you, and all of this is all out there, but we're just bringing you this information in a small amount of, in the same context, so you have it all in one place. But when you are working with the universe, remember to use the word I am. Use it in the past tense. I am healthy. I am strong. Keep using that as your mantra. And as you speak to yourself throughout the day and you're building these ways of being in the world, and you're building that foundation for yourself in your own unique way, use your mantras with I am, I am. You can script it, you can write it out, but keep saying I am, I am. It brings in the energy for you about already having and possessing what it is that you're looking to have. And also watch the energy around certain ways that you speak to yourself. Like, for instance, I am a millionaire, right? Just put that out there. I am a millionaire. So it's in the past tense. You already have $1 million. How does your body feel when you say I am a millionaire? Does it sort of like, is it open to it? Yes, I can do it. Really watch. That's a way that you can watch if there's still something that needs to be released. When you say I am, watch your energy. Does it recoil a little bit? Is it really open to the understanding of it? When you say I am, I am a person that has $10 versus I am a millionaire. What's the difference? The energy might be different. If it's different with a millionaire, you might want to figure out if there's anything that you need to release about money, that it's hard to come by, that you're taking it from somebody else. All of this is not true. But, the I am scenario for you can really put you directly in touch with just a few things that need to be tweaked, perspectives that need to be changed, a few things that need to be released. Again, don't go down the rabbit hole. There's not a lot of stuff that needs to be done. All of the stuff is up at the surface. That's why when you say I am, it will lead you to how your body and your energy feels on all level, because everything's up. It's not subconscious anymore. So that's another way that you can do just to release completely. But it's all about bringing yourself back to, I was going to say the modern age, but bringing in the ancient traditions too, the way in which you do things, however you see things, but bringing back the magical energy, really inviting in your inner child, that wonder energy, coming down to that moment, every moment being magical in these small moments, and making that real for you in this lifetime, solidifying that beautiful energy between you and Mother Gaia, so you feel really rooted in the earth and very confident to move in any direction that you want, and then the world opens up for you. So that's what we have for you. That's the energy of the Kitchen Witch, pile 1. So myself and Hazel will say goodbye right now. We are sending you so much support and energy for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. Go be you and light up the world only you can. Until we meet again, take care, pile 1. Bye-bye. Hello, beautiful pile 2, aka our sea witches. For all you sea witches out there, again, we are getting you. Which witch has a message for you? So if you're here, that is the sea witch. Let's get right into your messages. And we have our wonderful Hazel looking on and our magic candle. So for these readings, we're trying to get you we're getting you or holding space for some practical advice that we can give you in support for moving forward for exactly where you are. That's what we're looking for. So let's get you Sea Witches. Alrighty, so your first card is the Two of Water, the Two of Cups, a relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, the positive resolution of a conflict. So you have this beautiful energy of the Two of Cups, which is gorgeous. You have strength and Archangel Ariel. You also have 11. You could be seeing 1111 in and around, which is Archangel Metatron, be working with you too, with upgrading on many different levels, certain ascension stuff coming up, old identities or feelings falling away. So you have great inner strength, release harsh judgment, forgiveness, and compassion. So you've got the strength to be able to get through this. And actually this is building strength for you and your new foundation. And you've got the Four of Cups here. So, you know, missing an opportunity, open your eyes to the possibility. That's not necessarily missing an opportunity. For you to understand, you're at the stage of your life where you're not going to miss out on anything that's really, truly destined for you. And this pretty much goes around. This is, I mean, anything that's, and anyone that's really destined for you in this lifetime will be there for you. Now, you have free will. You have the right to walk away at any time, choose differently. That's completely up to you, but they will appear. So this is about, again, building foundations with yourself, really understanding who it is that you are without having to really hone in on the specifics of personality. So a lot of personality for you is sort of falling away. And for some of you, it can feel a little alarming, or it can feel as though, okay, what's the next step? And there's a humbleness to this also too, you know, because in the spiritual community, you can get this, you know, we're falling away, and then you get this sort of hyped, you know, understanding of, oh, I've got this, I'm better, I'm this, that, and the other. You know, every now and again you see it, this energy, and that's fine. It's all part of the process, trying to figure it all out. Let's put your, yeah, put it up there. That's all part of it, and it's all part of the ego sort of coming out. And for the ego to come out front and center, sometimes it's not a bad thing. We can see where we need to tweak this and figure out that perception. And you know, the world figures things out for you when the ego comes up. You know, it's all part of everybody's journey. But for you, that's not happening with the ego. And sometimes the ego is a great thing, because when it comes up in these times of, it wants to come up and protect you, it wants to come up and help you. So when everything falls away and you feel as though there's not a lot going on, there's not a lot to grab onto from the past, the ego can sometimes tell you, oh, we've got this, or, you know, you've reached this stage of development, which means that you're fantastic, and, you know, and you've got this. And then the ego steps in there, and sometimes that can help you. It doesn't help you broaden your horizons. It actually keeps you exactly where you are, and it sometimes can make you a little inflexible, but at least it's recognizable. At least it's somewhere something that you recognize. So it's very easy to get into this trap of getting into sort of a certain amount of enlightenment and then really sort of clicking into the ego. Totally understandable. So for you, the ego isn't really working in that way. That the ego might be working a little bit against you by bringing up old stuff, because you've actually worked with your ego in such a way, you've actually sort of surrendered your ego, and your ego's a little bit pissed, right? So you've got all this emotionality coming up and some of this old stuff coming up, and it's saying, you know, and it's tricking you a little bit. It wants you to go back into the past and think about certain things. And that's just because the ego, you know, you've given it a new task, or you've surrendered it a little bit, and it doesn't know what to do. Usually in these situations, it'll click in and tell you you're better than other people, or tell you that, you know, you've reached this part of enlightenment, and it's wonderful, and it's, you know, you wrote this, or this will happen. You're absolutely right about this. You're absolutely right about that. And that's, you know, and you've surrendered to that process. You're not doing that. So there's nothing really familiar to you. And of course, you're going to have something in common with Pal 1, because we're talking about this energy. This energy is very much in the collective right now. But for you, this is all about owning your emotionality. This is really about allowing yourself to get really, really deep into your emotionality. Now, that might have frightened you before, because your emotionality in the past has overwhelmed you, and it's not a place that you've wanted to stay. And it's also a place that it's overwhelmed you in such a way that you didn't believe that if you really delved into your emotionality at such a deep level, that it would provide these answers for you. In fact, you thought quite the opposite. You would drown in these sort of feelings, and you wouldn't be able to sort of reach the truth. Now, we can't tell you intrinsically whether that was right or wrong. Each and every one of you will have a different version of that. If you felt as though delving in before was going to be too much for you, get lost in those emotions, then we trust you that obviously you know that wasn't the right thing for you to do. But you haven't got into the real understanding of your emotionality yet. You haven't gone really, really, really deep yet. And now is the time to do that. If you did feel as though you were going to be overwhelmed by your emotions before, there would have been a reason for that. And then that's the reason why you stayed away from that. But there is some deep, beautiful understanding, some deep, dark sort of delving in there for you, some really beautiful and some really iconic sort of things for you to pick up on and really put the jigsaw pieces, puzzles together, like last pieces of things, but really interesting information, even from past lives and why you certain things upset you and this, that, and the other, where you thought, I don't know where that comes from. All of these pieces coming together. We're going to ask you to do something. Some of these pieces that come together can come out of nowhere when you really delve into this emotionality. And again, you have the strength to be able to do this at this time. You will not get overwhelmed by your emotionality. You've been slowly digging through it and working through it. So there are these gems now that you're able to do it, and enjoy the process if you can. But we're going to ask you something really, really important. When these gems come up and they hit home and you think to yourself, that came too easily, that makes sense to me. At my core, I feel as though this is correct, but it seems a little bit out there. It seems a little bit weird, and I got this information really, really easily. Please trust it. Please trust it. You've been working so diligently with your emotionality as an empath, as a highly sensitive being, that you peel back the layers of the onion, as we use this analogy sometimes, so much, even, small increments, that you've done so much work at a small pace at a certain amount of time, that you've not really been able to see how deep you've delved. So these things that are coming up that are really like, oh, that's why and it clicks in, and everything all of a sudden makes sense. That's why I'm thinking this. That's why I have this mentality, or that's why this thought pattern keeps echoing, going round and round and round. I get it. It's all due to this, right? If it seems too much, don't, just let it. It's absolutely there, because this information is ready to be delivered to you, and also ready to be signed off. All right, we've got this now. I understand it. Now, the energy might still loop round if you've got this old energy of these old thought patterns coming up as this old energy comes up. But if you know the root of it, you can pull yourself back to the root and go, we already know why that's coming up. And then you can think differently. As our minds loop round and round and round, and we have these echoes, sort of these echo chambers that keep going round and round and round, they can get really, really annoying. And they're not, unless we change the loop, it's not going to do anything. But you can change the loop by really understanding core, the key to why you are feeling this. And it's something deep, and it's something real, and it came out of something real. The thought itself, the echoing of the thought, the actual thought, has nothing to do with, it's not true. It's not true at all, but it's linked to something deeper that is true, that did happen to you, right? So it's just trying to get your attention. So as you dig deeper, and as you have the strength, and you really gain the strength, and you can do this in a myriad of different ways, through different rituals that you do, through meditation, in nature. Every one of you will have a different way of doing it. And also you might want to integrate new ways of doing this with water, really working with the element of water in ways that you haven't before, like really heightening it up. Again, always go with your intuition. But you have the strength to dig deep now, because all of what you want to know is in the depths of this emotionality that you have, and it's absolutely beautiful, and there's an incredible amount of healing to be done. And again, as we say here, that don't go down the rabbit hole. It's when we say healing, we mean at the core, sort of releasing at the core. It's not like a lot of healing that's going to take years and years and years. You don't need to do a course or go off or get stuck into the energy of healing. It's more about releasing, but that allows for the core wound to have that space in time to be able to heal completely, instead of being covered by water as it was before. So you're getting deep in this. There's a lot of gifts that you've been given. Some of you have been giving them quite recently, but you'll be able to develop them at a really heightened pace. this is also where you'll be finding this deep depths in your emotionality. So if you're finding yourself really sort of digging deep already in a way, this is a more focused way for you to do it. Really allow all that cleansing, even if you, cry for 3 days, whatever you need, all that cleansing come out. Some of you are crying, for joy. Some of you are just releasing. Some of you are going backwards and forwards within 30 seconds and thinking, I must be insane. You're not. This is perfectly normal. It's a beautiful process for you to be in. Yeah, you've got the high priest there coming into all of this understanding with the strength and the divine masculine really going deep now. And again, it's nothing that you really need to over focus on. It's just to direct your energy there, and it will go right there, because all of this healing, peeling back the layers of the onion, has already worked. And you've got the high priest and you've got the witch. This is beautiful. This is absolutely your new beginning to really step in and own your emotionality and the depths of who you are. And that that also means your vulnerability, showing yourself, really allowing yourself to be seen in ways that you haven't before, bringing in this brand new connection, and this real new connection with the external, with your communities, but bringing in this absolute beautiful deep connection with yourself that you've never had before, where you really understand the depths of who you are, the beauty of who you are, and how insanely talented and brilliant you are, because you've never really let yourself admit it. You've had these moments where, yeah, I'm pretty good at that. You've kept them to yourself, but you're pretty humble. If somebody gave you a compliment, your hair looks great today. Oh, thank you, I washed it. You dumb it down with something else. And there's nothing about you that's going to be arrogant. So it would be nice for you when somebody gives you a compliment, like, do this on a practical level. Just say thank you. Just say thank you and walk away. Don't dumb it down. Don't do any of that. There's nothing wrong with doing that in the past. But this is, there's nothing wrong with anything that you've done. But own everything now. You're in a position to own everything. You've got the King of Wands. You've got this beautiful, passionate, again, a lot of divine masculine energy coming in, but working for you in that rooting. It really helps you work in that emotionality of getting to the root of things, and really pulling in that strength and seeing sort of the wisdom. Keep seeing, hidden treasure down there. But again, you have the map to be able to go down there to get the treasure. It's not about going off into the sea and getting lost. You have the map, you go down there, you get the treasure. You can stay down there now, and instead of like rushing up to the top of the water and then on land going through everything, you can stay down there and really enjoy going through all of the treasure. And also this new beginning that you have, moving in any direction, knowing that you can, knowing how insanely brilliant you are in every moment. Sometimes, again, you have these glimpses of how brilliant you are, but keeping that energy in and around you all of the time, knowing that you are that brilliant. Again, there's nothing arrogant about it in any way, stage, or form. This is about you making moves. This is about you moving forward with confidence. But it's also about putting your best foot forward, like moving forward with the energy of all of you. So accepting every aspect of you. When you moved forward before, you had certain aspects of you sort of hidden. Some of it was hidden from the world on purpose. Well done, you needed to do what you needed to do. But some of it was hidden from you. This is about you opening up and saying, this is me, this is what I have. It doesn't mean that you can't keep a little bit of yourself to yourself. Of course, that's it, but being transparent as to exactly who you are, and also not giving an F really at the end of the day what anybody else thinks. You're beyond sort of this external validation, but also being able to respect that everybody has their own point of view. And who knows, sometimes we really do, if we're open to it, we can learn something from these really extreme different points of view that we have. Because at the end of the day, we all share an earth, and we've all shared fear. We've all put fear into the collective one way or another, so even if you've transcended fear, which is absolutely wonderful, in order to transcend it, you had fear. So it's all gone into the collective. You weren't born enlightened, so you had to work through fear. So we all have something in common. And this is something that you can really root into and appreciate on a new level now that you're grounded into yourself, because before, when other people had really, really strong opinions, you could have been kind of sort of uptight about that. Now, you were uptight for a very specific reason. It's not that you believed that your opinion was better than everybody else. It's just that strong opinions around you kind of made you uneasy because it sort of uprooted you a little bit because you had so much emotionality and so much depth that wasn't rooted. So strong opinions could uproot you and their energy you could take on. So sometimes it was really important for you to sort of either be defensive or click in to how you felt so you could counter that energy, you know. But it wasn't about you thought you were right or they thought you were wrong. It wasn't about that. There was a very specific way of doing things, and it was out of protection that you needed to do that. Otherwise you could get lost in that energy and even take it home and have it integrate, you know. So now that you're working with this energy, anybody's opinion that comes up, you can see it differently. You're not bowled over by anybody else's energy. You're not taking on anybody else's energy, certainly not taking on anybody's opinion. And now you can stand in your own energy. There's nothing to prove on your side. And even when you did it before, again, it wasn't about proving, it was about matching the energy so you didn't feel overwhelmed by it. And that was important for you to do. It was important for you to speak up. It was important for you to match that energy because you had this energy about you where people thought, some of you, for maybe not a message for all of you, but some of you, you know, you had this energy around you. People thought that they could railroad you. And when they tried to, they weren't able to, you know, but people really did try, you know, or they tried to get at you in different ways because they sense a certain emotionality from you and they sense that vulnerability and that beauty, and they took it as weakness, and that's not at all what it is. But there was an element of you that may have thought it was weakness too, just because you couldn't get to the depths of it now. So the way in which you stood up for yourself and the way in which you were sort of regimented in a way was out of protection. And again, you needed that that's how you used your boundary at that point. So, but then you realize that that's not how you wanted to be. You didn't want to be that inflexible. You didn't want to be, you know, and the essence of your soul wasn't that anyway. So it moved you in a different direction. You know, people are inflexible out of fear. They want one way of doing things. They want one way. I'm right, that's it, you're wrong. And that's fine. That's out of fear. That's how they live. That's how they want to control their life. It's totally understandable that somebody would want to do, you know, when you have an excess amount of fear, it's totally understandable. In a way, I've done that, you know, in my life. We've all done it in a certain way, but we, you know, some of us come out of that and then don't want to be that inflexible anymore. So this is a way that you've worked in the past that protected you, and that's how you learned boundaries. And then you had your own reasoning for boundaries, how you worked with boundaries. That's how you first did it, and then you started working with boundaries a little bit differently. But you have this brand new way of moving forward, which is absolutely gorgeous, where you get to be, you know, sort of really open, and you don't have to do that anymore. And people who sense that sort of flexibility in you and sense that deepness within you, you've owned your emotionality, you've owned your vulnerability, so it can't be seen as a weakness anymore. So even if people come in and around you and they mistake it as weakness, that's on them. That's fine. That's got nothing to do with you anymore. You're not taking on that energy anymore. You got the love. So you've got this, exactly what we've been talking about, how you've worked with boundaries and how this is solidifying that for you so you can move off in any different direction without a doubt. So you've got the lady goddess and the feminine, and that's the energy that you'll be working with in this lifetime, mainly feminine energy, and bringing it up sort of to the surface. And, you know, we shouldn't have to remind you really at the end of the day, we all know that the divine feminine and Mother Nature herself can be brutal when she wants to. You know, these goddesses like Hecate or Hecate, however you pronounce her name, Lilith, I mean, they are not to be messed with. I mean, they're not going to hurt you. But I mean, what I'm saying is they have that fierceness to them at the same time as they're loving and giving. So, I mean, this is what you're here to do. This is what you're here to integrate. You'll do that with the element of water, getting down into that emotionality and again, all of those gifts that you have, that most of them you already know, but the way in which you develop them and you move and you will utilize them in ways that are extraordinary and unique to you. They're not going to be used in a way that other people have used them too. This information and how you will use them is all available into the depths of that water. And again, to remind you, you're not going to get lost at sea. You know, you have the map, you're going to go down, you're going to get your treasure, and you're going to stay down there and enjoy the treasure and enjoy everything that is in and around you. And if you decide to go into the sea, you won't be lost anymore. So your power lies in your emotionality and the depths of it. And does run deep. It runs incredibly deep. So part of that protection in the past is because you felt everything. When advertisements come up about like poor animals being treated terribly in the world, it'll tear you apart, And this is the reason why you're here. There is so many different things going on, and people who are here to do the right stuff in the world. When we say the right stuff, we're not talking about right or wrong polarity. We're talking about really utilizing money and being able to make real changes in the world. Right now, there's a lot of people who have the money. There's only a certain amount of people who have money. They're not doing the right things with it, right? They're doing silly things with it, when we really could eradicate homelessness, and we really could help out animals, and we really could help our children. There's so many different things that we could do. So it's really important for you to claim all of these gifts, because you really have the chance in this lifetime to bring in this kind of energy and to be able to help. So it's important for people like you to have the resources to be able to put those resources back into new communities and building new communities the way that we want. Your vision for the world, once it has, and it will do, once it has grounding, you'll be able to make these changes, and a lot of these starseeds that are moving up in incarnations and figuring things out, once they get that money, they're actually going to come together and be able to change this world for good. And if that takes money, that takes money. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing, you're going to use it for good. For sure. So this is an extra vavoom for you to get that in, and you're going to do it in your own way. You're going to do it with the divine feminine. You're going to do it by being you and not having to shift and change yourself and protect yourself because somebody comes in that has this energy that's really, it doesn't matter. You're just, the way in which you work with people is going to be different, which means the way in which you interact with people on a day-to-day basis in the world will be very different. Before there was this protection barrier and you didn't feel as though you were really connected when you were out in the world. That is going to dissolve now because you've got other ways and of doing and seeing things. So this is an incredible feat for you moving forward in the way that you want. Again, get down into those depths and really enjoy the process if you can, because this is a wonderful time for you to start this new way of going. And again, you can move in any direction, because all of those traits and all of that beautiful gifts that you have can be utilized in so many different ways, in beautiful different ways that we haven't really seen before. So we couldn't even sit down and try to imagine how you're going to use them, and also soul family divine connections coming in to be able to help you, to move you forward and secure you in your path. So that's what we have for you, beautiful pile twos and all you sea witches out there. Don't forget to work with the element of water in any way that you want in this cleansing process, in your ritual, whatever you want to do. It's all up to you. So we are sending you so much support and love for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. Go be you and shine your light, you beautiful, beautiful empathic beings. We need more of you in this world, or there's so many of you in this world, but owning your power the way in which you are. It is absolutely gorgeous, and you are absolutely owed this beautiful time in your life. So go be you, and until we meet again, take care. Beautiful pile threes, all you cosmic witches out there, out into the cosmos. Let's get you your readings. Which has a message for you? So this is your message from the cosmic witch realm. So as with pile 1 and 2, with all of our other witches, we're getting you some supportive energy for working with your energy. Supportive reading for working with your energy, and giving you some practical help if we can, moving forward with that. So let's see what comes up for you. So you have jump in, Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. So for any of you who were wondering about what's going on, or should you say yes to something, you heard it here first, you got it. Always listen to your intuition. Always listen to your intuition. It'll take you to the next step without a shadow of a doubt. And if you're not sure about something, try it on for 24 hours. Sometimes the initial yay, and that's great. And, because the idea of moving forward is wonderful. But if you're still at that excitement after even like 12 hours or 18 hours or 24 hours, then it's an absolute yes. but clear pathways ahead for you without a shadow of a doubt. And then you've got you're not alone, isolation, physical connection, and community. So moving forward for you and developing your communities, and also really solidifying what it is that you want to do for your next step, your next role in this lifetime. And you've got perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out, common ground. So it's all about understanding, and again, you have this in common with all the other witches too, because there's a collective readings too. This is all about coming back to your own energy and how it is that you are in the world and how you are going to work in the world, and choosing for you. A lot of you have been so open in some ways about how you work, and and leaving it up to the universe, and we'll see what happens, and this, that, and the other. Sometimes you're very dedicated. You're dedicated in any way, but sometimes you're very clued in, and you move forward, and that's another way that you're doing this, because I want this, I want that, and then you get it and you realize it's not quite what I wanted, or you didn't check in with the higher self. You checked in with this is what I thought I could get, but you've been specific about what you wanted, and you've gotten it, and it's been okay. But there was some other energies in and around it. Some of them have been complete disasters. So then you went the other way and said, I'm going to be completely open and see which way I move in any direction. And that's absolutely wonderful, the openness and the flexibility. And of course, but it's also about sort of honing it in and having that sort of balance where you're putting out a specific energy to the universe, having the universe match that energy and move you forward. So making a decision, even if it's a baby step, moving in some direction, but being clear about what direction it is. I want this, I want that. And that doesn't have to be specific. I want to be of use in the world. I want to be able to use my talents in the greatest way that I possibly can to help X, Y, and Z, this individual or these individuals, or do this. I want to be out in the world doing this, narrowing it down and moving forward. And this is something that you're doing whereby you're choosing something, but also saying, at the end of the day, this is all to do with my higher self. This is not to do with the ego. Being really clear with the universe. Is there something better for me coming along that suits my higher self? I will take that. You can challenge the universe. What's best for me at this time. I have this idea of how I'm moving forward. I'm solidified in who I am, or the idea of why I'm here. I'm clicked into my blueprint. What does my higher self want from me? And you can do this in a day-to-day. What does my higher self want from me today? How am I going to honor my higher self today? What can I do? How can I show up for myself and show up for the collective? So this is about building a community, and building the kind of community that you want, and a kind of community that you've never really seen. Now, you do have soul family that have popped in. You've had people who are in and around you that have seen you periodically. You've always had that in and around your life. They've been speckled here and there. And you've also had very incredible spirit guides who have been around you who are extremely powerful. But you've never had an actual community where all of it makes sense and clicks in, supports you on what you're doing and moves forward, right? And on this really sort of intrinsic and very, very powerful level. And this is something that you're looking to do. This is something that you're looking to make yourself in this lifetime. You didn't here to come into and click yourself into another collective. You came here to create a collective. You came here to create new communities. You came here to create new pathways so others could create new communities based on justice and beauty and all that other stuff. And now you're ready to be able to do that sort of on your own terms. And of course, you don't need to need to know exactly what that looks like. And for a lot of you, it's really inherently about certain members of your soul family coming in and providing that extra element, and memory and beauty, and clicking in and having that support and that foundation. We want to remind you that everything that you want to do in this lifetime, and there's a lot of what you want to do. A lot of you have these really lofty, beautiful ideas, which you absolutely can achieve. If you've had them from childhood, you can have them. You've been planting your seeds ever since you were babies, one way or form, as we've said before. Even if they're off in different directions, they will all come back together. You can do it, but you're not supposed to do it alone. You were never supposed to do it alone. Now, some of it is being responsible for your own energy. So yeah, the path was a solo one to a certain degree, and that's the way light workers work. But you're not supposed to create these communities on your own. So this is like a time where you've been very solo for a while, doing your thing and figuring out your stuff and figuring out what does work and what doesn't work. You figured out a lot of your life from what doesn't work and how things have fallen apart, and that's wonderful for you because you really do have an idea of what does work now, right? But this is a time for you to think about being in a collective, the kind of collective that you are actively navigating and figuring out. So if you're trying to figure out how to move forward, think about it in the collective sense. Yes, you're going to be part of that, and yes, you're solo in that, you're a unique individual, but think about the collective. What kind of changes you want to see, how you can practically make that work, or what you can offer. It doesn't have to be specific. I'm going to do this and then that will happen, that will happen. You can even it out and allow it to be open, but zoom on out. And don't worry about what everybody else is doing. This is about how you're going to build a collective. Now, we already have a collective going on right now, and there's a lot of different things going on. That's great. A lot of it's coming up to be released. You're going to be concentrating on the collective that we're building that are brand new. You don't need to worry or think about or even take into consideration the old stuff, because the new stuff that's coming out of the old stuff that's growing and it's happening every day is going to connect with you in its own way. But you don't need to connect with the collective in order to get that new information, if that makes sense to you. It will come in and around you in the way that it's supposed to. So you can absolutely click out of that energy. And actually I did, I think it's a couple of readings before. It's Say No This November, how to put your energy first. That could be really interesting for you. Each and every one of those readings was slightly different. But if you haven't checked it out already, you might want to check that out. I will leave it down below in the link. I haven't said that for Pile 1 and Pile 2, but for you, it feels as though it could be quite beneficial to get a little extra energy and impetus about how to move forward. How to use your energy at this time. And even though it's for November, it is a timeless reading. So again, always check in with your intuition, see where you're going with it, but you can if you want to. So you have the moon, you've got this beautiful energy that's going on here. You've got the 9 of Wands, which is beautiful also, and you've got the Oak King. You've got this gorgeousness with the Hangman. So it is moving forward in the way that you want, but also it's sometimes when you move forward and you think you're trying to make things tangible and they sort of fall apart, they sort of disintegrate, you can feel a little like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing, and that lost feeling can come up. So again, you're trying to figure something out in the tangible may not work for you. That's how you did things in the past, and that's fine. Being really specific about the energy that you're putting forward and really focusing on what you want to create in the long term is totally fine. How you get there and all those little parts of how you get from A to B, the universe can sort out. So you can just take one step forward and the universe will match your energy. So just really focusing on the energy of what it is that you're supposed to do here. And also really relying, all of you are cosmic witches, right? So really relying on the cosmos right now. This is really important for you. Some of you are actually going back to your birth charts to figure out, sort of incremental energy and other things that you're discovering about your chart that you didn't before that's making sense to you. If that works for you, that's wonderful. And some of you are really working with and meditating with your spirit guides, particularly your star guides. A lot of you are star seeds. So you've got Adrenaline energy, and you also have Pleiades energy too. Palladian energy that's in and around you. Now, a lot of this energy that's coming in for you can actually move you forward. Now, it's not that you didn't acknowledge them before, and you've had times where you worked solely with them and then you moved out of them. Felt like, a couple of years ago, everybody was channeling Palladian energy, and some of it I don't even know. Some of those channelings were just really wacky a little bit to me, but hey, that's the way it was. But it did seem as though a lot of people were channeling, and then we sort of moved into different ways and different ways of seeing things, and that's the way that it should be. And it's not like we've let go of the Palladian energy or anything like that. We're constantly talking about star seeds and this, that, and the other, but coming back to that sort of home planet for you. And again, this is not an energy of over focusing on details. I need to figure out which planet I'm from. really hone in on which planet can give you the information that you need. And you will automatically be drawn to one planet or another. It doesn't matter whether you identify with being there or not. A lot of people are, I'm this, I'm that. And that's fine if that's what you want to pull into your identity. But you're an old soul. So the chances that you're just one or the other is very slim. You probably have lived on each and every one of these star systems, right? So it's really just a matter of who is speaking to you at the time and where you're feeling that energy. But getting that information from the cosmos right now is absolutely wonderful for you, because it gives you that macro vision, that objectivity for you, and it causes you to really be aligned with the sort of the overall message, the overall energy for why you're here. And it gives you the freedom to go in any different direction to create those little realities. And also some of the information may be slightly hidden from you right now about the specifics of how you move forward, but it's hidden from you in a very specific way, because the universe is actually trying to bring you something quite big. And sometimes when we push and say, all right, I'm going to go for that, the energy, that the universe meets your energy and goes, okay, well, I'm going to give you that. And then you go, okay, that's great, but now I'm really bored. And so sometimes it's really great to really click into that energy and understand that if the universe is solidifying something much greater for you, you're in a position to be able to get it. So you really want to click into that energy to understand where you are and what you're doing. And this is not a time for you in any way, shape, or form, cosmic witches, to settle in any way, shape, or form. It's just, you're just not at that stage to settle for something that you think you can do or something that you can make work. You're here to have this this musing life, to have muses everywhere, to have this magical life, to really aim for something, but also say to the universe, I know there's something bigger for me, because we can totally, pretty much for every single one of you, guarantee that everything that you've thought for yourself, even if you pushed it as high as you can in your imagination, we guarantee you the universe has something better for you in store. And everything that you've been doing with your healing process, everything, the way in which you've been stepping up for yourself, the collective, is putting you in a position to be able to receive that. So all you need to do is to be a magnet, right? It does mean that with all of the gifts that you have, you may feel as though, I have all of these gifts and I don't feel as though I'm utilizing them the way that I really could do, or I have all of these gifts and they're only out in the universe in a certain way, and they're not integrated fully into a certain way. But that's fine. Bring in that cosmic energy and say, I want to saturate the universe with this beautiful energy, because your energy is great. I want to saturate the universe with this beautiful energy. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be a success, to reach as many people as you possibly can. You're here to step up. You're here to be a leader. You're here to be a beacon of light. You're here to do all of that. People who don't resonate with your message won't, but there are a lot of people coming in to their own energy, and they are shifting and changing, and they will resonate with your message. So this is sort of keeping the perspective large for you, but also being able to work on a day-to-day basis where you don't feel lost and you don't feel as though you're not meeting your goals and you don't feel as though you're going a little bit crazy. So this is the balance for you here. So working with your energy, with the macro vision, with the solar systems, with your specific guides, with your starseed guides too. You can work with goddess energy. We're not going to tell you who to work with, but your star guides are here to work with you in such an incredible way, because they've been with you for the entire time, and they've watched how you've developed in a human form, and they're really, really proud of you. And it's not a small thing to do, to have this level of consciousness in sort of a meat suit, right? That's not been easy for you to figure out and to learn to work with, and on top of that, to be integrated into a world where it's so dense. This has been really, really difficult for you, but this is your time to really shine. This is your time to really come into your own, and also be in that meat suit, right? Still be in this 3D existence, but sort of bring in other elements to it, because we are here to have a human existence. We are here to absolutely feel everything, the beauty and the pain, the heartbreak and the gorgeousness. We are here to do all of that, and to perhaps maybe bring the 5D down to the 3D. But we will all transcend when our bodies die. We will all transcend. This is all about sort of living in this world and integrating all of it. And this is something that you come down to intrinsically figure out how to do and how to teach others how to do it. So being a high level being, it's been extremely frustrating and really, really tough for you one way or another. So know that this moment, this is your moment with all of these gifts and these talents, just sort of, for some of you, just sort of sitting there, not being out in the world the way that they could. And it's been quite frustrating because they are kind of brilliant, and the energy around them can change the world. But there's been a divine timing aspect to who you are and all this stuff coming out. You should know that you're slightly ahead of your time. Your time is now. So all of this is coming in and around you, all of this energy. But your time is now without a shadow of a doubt. But you've been ahead of your time. So all of this stuff that you created before is absolutely wonderful. But also, there's a divine timing element to it. So bear that in mind. But yeah, really clicking in with your cosmos now, really clicking in with your specific messages of your star system is going to bring you some really wonderful ways to move forward. And now these messages will be different for each and every one of you. Now, I have done Palladian messages before. You're welcome to check those out. I haven't done them in a while. And see which star system you're from, or this, that, and the other. You're welcome to check those out and see if you can get some extra messages from there. That's always there for support. Always listen to your intuition. If it's telling you to go in that direction, then I guarantee you your intuition knows what it's talking about. So you might be able to get some specific messages in there. But it's really about you connecting to them, and each and every one of you will have a direct source connection. So yeah, you've got that Ace of Water, you've got that Ace of Cups, falling in love with the resurgence of a relationship. You've got the spiritual growth and enhanced intuition and a new home. Now, for each and every one of you, that will be different. I mean, maybe that could be moving to a new home, but it means moving up. Moving up. The new home will, if you are moving to a new home, it'll reflect where you are. A lot of you have moved out of your current circumstances, which includes some of the people that are in and around you. Some of you, your workspace, your home space, you've moved out of it spiritually, but you're still there physically. So, as you look around, your energy does not match your surroundings. This is absolutely true for pretty much each and every one of you in one way, shape, or form. But again, the energy is solidifying. The divine timing is coming in. Your cosmos family is there to tell you the specifics of how to move forward and how to maintain your energy, how to keep it up, how to keep that joy there, and or how to zoom out again to be able to see the entire perspective, so you know when to act and keep open, because this is being delivered to you. Again, do not settle right now. In this mindset, it's really easy to settle for something because something is better than nothing. We've all been there, but don't do it. Something bigger is coming in. Now, if your intuition is telling you that this next step is a baby step to move you forward to whatever, do what you need to do, but make sure you're in alignment with your highest desire, with your higher self at this time, because that's where you want to be, not dumbing yourself down at any time. Yeah, you've got the stability that came up, the staff in pile 1 with our beautiful kitchen witch. So this is about building this new foundation for you, but also being open to how you will move in the future, and the moves that you'll be making with this magical life will be huge. They will be bigger than you've done before. You're used to doing A, B, C, D, and moving forward. You might have shifted here and there, but you're used to doing that list, clicking off, this is what we're doing. Just step up with these baby steps, and the bigger understanding and the bigger opportunities will come in, and you don't have to figure out what they're going to be. The universe will do that. So it's but it's a matter of really reconnecting in a new way and building a new foundation with your star family in a way that you haven't done before. That's where a lot of this information is coming from. Again, if you're checking charts and you're doing this, whatever you do to get that extra information to solidify what you already know. But this connection that you're going to be making, that you could make if you want to, and again, always listen to your intuition, the answers lie there. Because before you were working on this realm, you were working with old karma, and you're working through the sort of the denseness of the 3D. And all they could do was support you in every way that they could. and support you and to keep you safe and protect you. But now that you're lighter, they can actually physically move you on and move you to newer depths and move you higher. And do more for you than they seemingly could have done before. Now, they were doing a lot for you before, but it may not have seemed as though you had the support that you had because of the denseness of everything else. But they were supporting you while you were doing that. And in a human existence, what you needed to do, work through the old karma, a lot of soul contracts that you needed to go through with people coming in and working through a lot of that. So now that you're lighter, this connection that you have with them now can shoot you off in different directions, and it's lighter, it's different, much more dramatic, for want of a better term, much more dramatic, much more magical is a better term. Higher ways to reach, quicker ways to go, so stay in that energy and connect in your own way that you want to. Again, things are being unearthed, some things that have been hidden before, and it's not hidden out of, oh, they're dark or they're bad or anything like that. It's just the divine timing aspect of it, reasons why there's a time that you didn't really quite take off the way in which you wanted to before. You don't need to know the reasons for that. There's a divine timing element to it, but there's reasons for that too. They're working on clearing that path for you. So stay open. Again, stay in that cosmos energy. Stay in the way that you do, and really, really hone in on this extra support that's being given to you now. Even like a 5-minute meditation with a direct correspondent with whoever you're feeling, let's just say Palladian, Draconian, whatever, whoever. Can give you the information that you need, and also the support that you need to really firmly solidify your foundation, so you don't feel as though you're faltering, right? You feel as though you're here for a reason, and you're going to click into that reason. It's all going to make sense soon. So that's what the energy that we have for you, Pile 3, all you beautiful cosmic witches. We are sending you, we're going to send you off with a little, say bye-bye, Hazel. Hazel says bye-bye. So much beautiful strength and energy in and around you. We're sending you so much support for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. Go be you. Keep it open. You've absolutely got this. All of the information that you need and require is out there. It's just a matter of connecting to it. And it'll look different for each and every one of you, but we guarantee you it's exciting and it's brilliant, and you are ready for it. So go be you, and until we meet again, take care. Bye-bye.